thing, and more of a recognition for people who are in positions of classified access to information, that while they may have extraordinary powers, they actually have to hold themselves as well to an extraordinary standard of responsibility. And while this is something that the senior leadership of these organizations still reject, I'm actually fairly optimistic the working level is starting to see it a little bit differently.
Should we take one more question?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Who else?
Tank, you look like you're just about ready.
All right, so what's your favorite thing that you have been credited for that you didn't do?
So if I said that, I would good try there. There are a lot of really interesting things out there that have happened. I won't talk about things that sort of are in the credited journalistic sense. Maybe we could talk, though, about technology. One of the things that sort of I'm most credited for that I would say I haven't done is the new lines of iPhones, right, from Apple. They're encrypted by default. Now, this doesn't mean they're unbreakable. The FBI is really scaring people, saying that, you know, if somebody buys an iPhone and they're a criminal and they kidnap somebody, we're not going to be able to do anything about it. The world is over. We're going to have to shut down the FBI, close up shop. You know, the American project has ended. Now, this is false because the NSA gets around encryption every day of the week and twice on Sundays. I mean, I saw this all the time. And it's not that they break encryption, it's that they go around it. If you hack the device, you can steal the encryption keys. And this is fairly typical. The encryption itself, yes, is unbreakable, but there are all those other ways in. But this is something that the director of the FBI has sort of blamed me for. He said, sort of, because of Snowden, because of Snowden, because of Snowden, all of these devices are more secure. And he means that as a bad thing. But when I hear that the devices of everybody in the country, sort of everybody in the world, and a growing portion of the population, are more secure, that actually makes me feel good. Because encryption, particularly in the context of phones, prevents far more crimes than it would ever possibly enable. Even if you presume that sort of every murderer out there, you know, would get a pass, which of course they won't, because as I said, when you need to do it, you can get around encryption in key contexts. You just have to be a little more active in your traditional methods of investigation. You have to surveil the target, you have to watch where they're at, you have to seize the phone when it's on, things like that. But this means that when people's phones are stolen, when they leave it on the bus, they can't be used for identity theft. They can't be resold and reused the same way because the key can be tied to an online account. You're starting to create a world where, rather than everybody else in the world owning the device, you pay for the device, but somebody else owns it, whether it's some big online company or whatever, whether it's whoever happens to be holding the device. You own the device. It works for you. And I think very much this idea of sort of self-determination of personal and collective community responsibility is something that we shouldn't have senior officials sort of campaigning against, but it's something that they should actually see as uniquely American, as indicative of the openness of our society, that we created these topics, that we allow these topics, and that together we can find ways not only to simply live with this, to accept this, but to actually push it further as an example for the world of how the relationship between the governing and the governed can work in a way that's not just safe, not just trusted, but is actually guaranteed by virtue of our rights and by virtue of the technologies that are used to enforce those rights.
Ed, thank you. We're going to let you go have a spot of tea, and they'll have their no alcohol here in the theater, and we'll get back to you in a little bit.
All right, well, I won't be drinking either. I'll see you guys soon.